Hey everyone, welcome back to AiriBreathe Ministries, where the Word of God gives us life on purpose. We've been walking through the book of Esther, and today we're going to find out just how closely you've been paying attention, or if you're new to the page, let's see how much you already know. Welcome to the book of Esther Bible Trivia Challenge. I've got 25 questions for you, and some of these are easy, but I'm going to throw a few at you that might make you say, wait a minute now, hold up. Here's the challenge. You'll have a few seconds to answer each question before I reveal the answer. And whatever you do, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Each question is worth 4 points. At the end, you'll count up your points and you'll see where you rank. If you get between 90 and 100, your knowledge of this book is impressive. 80 to 90, you definitely paid attention. 70 to 80, you might need to rewatch a few videos. And below 70, child, please. So grab a pen and a piece of paper so you can keep score. Ready? Let's go. Number 1, who was the king at the beginning of the book of Esther? A, Cyrus, B, Darius, C, Ahasuerus, or D, Nebuchadnezzar? You have 5 seconds. Answer C, Ahasuerus, or also known as Xerxes, and you can find that in Esther Chapter 1, verse 1. Here's a quick fun fact about that. His kingdom stretched from India all the way to Ethiopia, and it included 127 provinces. Esther's story unfolds on an enormous political stage. Question number 2. And also, put in the comments how well you did, because maybe, I need to tweak the questions a little bit. Maybe they're too easy, too hard, or, just share in the comments what you would like to see on future Bible trivia quizzes. Number 2, how long did King Ahasuerus display the riches and glory of his kingdom before his 7-day feast? A, 30 days, B, 90 days, C, 180 days, or D, 1 year? You have 5 seconds. The answer is C, 180 days. And you can find that in verse 4 of chapter 1. A quick fun fact about that is that that's approximately 6 months of displaying his wealth and his power before the additional 7-day celebration. Number 3, what did Queen Vashti refuse to do? A, prepare a feast. B, appear before the king and his guests. C, give up her crown. Or D, leave Persia? 5 seconds. And the answer is B, appear before the king and his guests. Esther 1, 10 through 12. Fun fact, Vashti's refusal becomes the unexpected event that eventually creates an opening for Esther. One person's exit created room for another person's entrance. That'll preach right there, y'all. Number 4, what was Esther's Hebrew name? A, Miriam, B, Hadassah, C, Hannah, or D, Abigail? The answer is B, Hadassah, in verse 7. Hadassah means myrtle. Esther had both a Hebrew name and a Persian name, an interesting detail when teaching about identity. Number 5, what family relationship did Mordecai have to Esther? Some people get tripped up on this one. What family relationship did Mordecai have to Esther? A, brother, B, uncle, C, cousin, D, father? The answer is C, her cousin. Verse 7, Mordecai raised Esther as his own daughter after the death of her parents. Number 6, what did Mordecai instruct Esther not to reveal initially? A, her age, B, her hometown, C, her Jewish identity, or D, her relationship with him? The answer is C, her Jewish identity. Esther's identity was hidden for a season, but what was hidden eventually became central to her assignment. Number 7, we're moving right along. How long were the women prepared before appearing before the king? A, 3 months, B, 6 months, C, 12 months, D, 2 years. The answer is C, 12 months. Verse 12. This preparation consisted of 6 months with oil of myrrh and 6 months with perfumes and cosmetics. Number 8. Who was in charge of the women and showed favor toward Esther? A, Harbona, B, Haggai, C, or D, Bigthan. The answer is B, Haggai, verses 8 and 9 in chapter 2. Esther experienced favor before she ever became queen. Her favor showed up during preparation, not just promotion. Let that one sink for a minute. Number 9. What happened when Esther appeared before King Ahasuerus? A, he rejected her. B, he made her an advisor. C, he loved her above all the other women and made her queen. Or D, he sent her home. The answer is C. Verse 17, Esther received grace and favor above the other women. Her position wasn't merely about beauty. The position would eventually carry responsibility, although beauty played a major part in it. Number 10, what assassination plot did Mordecai uncover? A, a plot against Haman. B, a plot against Esther. C, a plot against the king. Or D, a plot against Persia. The answer is C, a plot against the king. Verses 21 through 23. Mordecai wasn't immediately rewarded. His good deed was written in the royal chronicles and remembered later at exactly the right time. So, any of these that you have questions about, I'm giving scripture references so that you can go back and read them for yourself. Number 11. Why did Haman become furious with Mordecai? A, Mordecai insulted his family. B, Mordecai refused to bow to him. C, Mordecai took his position. Or D, Mordecai refused to pay taxes. The answer is B. Mordecai refused to bow. And we see this in chapter 3, verses 2 through 5, where we know that Haman became so angry with one man that he sought the destruction of an entire people. Let that sink when you think about people who can't stand you and you don't know why they don't like you and why they're going to extremes to do certain things. That anger and bitterness, it will consume you if you allow it to. But we're not going to allow it to do that with us. Number 12. Haman was identified as an Agagite. What ancient enemy of Israel does this connect him with? Oh, I love this one. A, the Philistines, some say Philistines. B, Amalekites. C, the Moabites. Or D, the Egyptians. The answer is B, the Amalekites. Compare Esther chapter 3, verse 1 with 1 Samuel 15, and you'll see. This creates a fascinating biblical backdrop involving King Agag, the Amalekites, and King Saul generations earlier. Number 13. What was Pur? A, a Persian crown. B, a royal decree. C, a lot used to determine a date. Or D, Haman's title. The answer is C, a lot. In Esther chapter 3, verse 7, it talks about the plural Purim eventually became the name of the Jewish celebration commemorating their deliverance. So it was the lots that were cast in order to determine what day the Jews would be destroyed by Haman. But God had a different plan. Number 14. What did Mordecai do when he learned about the decree against the Jews? A. Fled Persia. B. Put on sackcloth and ashes. C. Attacked Haman. Or D. Went directly to the king. The answer is B. He put on sackcloth and ashes. In Esther chapter 4, verse 1, sackcloth and ashes were outward expressions of deep mourning and distress. Number 15. How you guys doing so far? We're more than halfway there. 15. What famous question did Mordecai present to Esther? A. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? B. Where is your faith? C. Will you remember your people? Or D. Why are you afraid? The answer is A. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Number 16. What warning did Mordecai give Esther if she remained silent? A. Haman would become king. B. Deliverance would arise for the Jews from another place. C. She would immediately lose her crown. Or D. Persia would fall. The answer is B. In verse 14 in chapter 4, Mordecai believed deliverance would come with or without Esther. The question was whether or not she would participate in that deliverance. Number 17. How long did Esther ask the Jews to fast for her? A. 1 day. B. 2 days. C. 3 days. Or D. 7 days. The answer is C. 3 days. In verse 16, Esther didn't rush into the throne room. Preparation preceded confrontation. Number 18. What courageous statement did Esther make before approaching the king? A. God will deliver me. B. If I perish, I perish. C. Haman will fail. Or D. The king will hear me. The answer is B. If I perish, I perish. In verse 16, Esther moved from concealing her identity to risking her life because of it. She was willing to lay down it all for the sake of her people. Number 19, what did the king extend toward Esther when she entered his court uninvited? A, his hand. B, his sword. C, the golden scepter. Or D, his crown. The answer is C, the golden scepter, and that's in chapter 5, verse 2. The extended scepter meant Esther was received rather than condemned. Had he not extended that scepter to her, it could have cost her her life, as she wasn't allowed to approach him uninvited. Number 20. Instead of immediately exposing Haman, what did Esther invite the king and Haman to attend? A council meeting. B, a banquet. C, a wedding. Or D, a public trial. The answer is B, a banquet. Verse 4, Esther didn't reveal everything at her first opportunity. Courage didn't eliminate wisdom or timing. Number 21. How high was the structure Haman prepared for Mordecai? A, 20 cubits. B, 30 cubits. C, 50 cubits. Or D, 100 cubits. The answer is C, 50 cubits. That's in verse 14. 50 cubits is roughly 75 feet using the common 18-inch estimate for a cubit. The Hebrew word can refer to a stake or a pole or gallows-like structure. So it wasn't necessarily the modern hanging gallows that we picture. Number 22. What happened to the king on the night that changed Mordecai's situation? A, he had a dream. B, he couldn't sleep. C, he became sick. Or D, he heard a voice. The answer is B. He couldn't sleep. In chapter 6, verse 1, Esther never directly mentions God by name, yet moments like the king's insomnia create a powerful theme of providence working behind the scenes. Number 23. Who was forced to publicly honor Mordecai? A, Esther. B, Haman. C, Harbona. Or D, the king? The answer is B, Haman. In chapter 6, verses 10 through 11, we see that Haman thought the king was describing an honor that was intended for him. Talk about arrogance. Then he ended up having to personally give that honor to the man that he hated the most. Number 24. What ultimately happened to Haman? A, he was exiled. B, he escaped Persia. C, he was executed on the structure prepared for Mordecai. Or D, he became Mordecai's servant. The answer is C. In chapter 7, verses 9 and 10. This is one of Esther's greatest reversals. The very thing Haman prepared for Mordecai became the instrument of his own downfall. Don't worry about your haters. God will take care of them. And number 25, what Jewish celebration commemorates the deliverance recorded in Esther? A, Passover. B, Pentecost. C, Purim. Or D, Hanukkah? The answer is C, Purim. And that's found in Esther chapter 9, verses 26 through 28. Purim comes from pure, the lot that Haman cast, and we touched on that a little earlier. What originally represented the timing of destruction became associated with the celebration of deliverance. Now, I got a bonus one for you in case anybody tied and got most of them right. Here's your bonus tiebreaker. How many times is God's name explicitly mentioned in the book of Esther? A, 1. B, 3. C, 7. Or D, fill in your own answer. The answer is 0. God's name is not mentioned in the book of Esther at all. Yet his providence can be traced throughout the entire story, from Esther's positioning to Mordecai's forgotten deed, to the king's sleepless night, to the dramatic reversal of Haman's plan. That makes a great final teaching moment. God's name may never appear on the page, but his fingerprints are all over that story. Well, that concludes our Esther Bible trivia. How did you do? Comment below. I would love to see your scores. Have an amazing day and stay tuned. We are going to begin studying the book of Joshua. I'm excited about that. Talk to you soon. God bless.